We have been waiting a real long time for this one, but I'm so happy the cards came in and now the profile is live. What's going on, you guys? Slim here with a new video today. I'm here to profile my updated MEKK-KNIGHT INVOKED deck profile for the May 2020 format. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell. You guys will be notified whenever I upload. You guys will also be notified whenever I stream over on Twitch. Links in the description. Come hang out, and we always have a good time. It's actually where you first saw this deck put into action, and yeah, thanks to you guys, we discovered this new combo that was added to the deck. It's probably not like new news anymore, but I can tell you straight up from all the games we've played with the deck, and we have clocked in quite a few, that this combo is absolutely insane in the MEKK-KNIGHT INVOKED deck. It's the NEOS combo. For those of you that don't know it, I'll show the literally 2-card OTK for when you're going second with this deck, which is the whole point of the deck. We'll get into it. You guys know how much I love MEKK-KNIGHT INVOKED. I will not put the deck down even in the new format, no matter what new decks we face, but I've changed the deck up a little bit hand trap wise and decision wise so that we can accommodate new cards and also combat the meta. So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. A lot of these cards you've seen before, but for the ones that you haven't, we're going to get into it. So stuff is pretty standard, but of course triple Alistair. Namesake of the deck, 1-card Macabre at worst. The Alistair plus the MEKK-KNIGHT is the full OTK combo, which I'll show at the end. Alistair is just insane. The Invoked engine is insane. A lot of decks are utilizing this. Some people are scared it might get hit one day. And if it does, it does. But until it does, I'm going to keep playing it. Of course, we're still sticking with MEKK-KNIGHTs. Triple purple, that's standard. I always play triple purple. I wouldn't play any less. We're still playing triple blue because we are still playing Morningstar. We are still playing the trap card. I think the trap card is absolutely insane, especially this format against decks like the Rock deck, the Adamana Scepter deck. You need to be able to get their stop their effects as soon as possible. So if they ever make you go first or in a grind game, being able to break their board and then set up the trap is insane. So 3 blue is necessary just to search out what you need, and it's just really cool, especially when they don't pay attention to columns and you search 2. 1 indigo, that's standard, and I'm still playing yellow for the back row decks. There's still a lot of back row running around. There's still a lot of Altergeist. There's still a lot of Guru. There's still a lot of trap decks in general, so you need to be able to, you know, still pop all those traps. I go back and forth if I want to play red, but so far yellow's just been really strong. So that's it for Alistair and the MEKK-KNIGHTs. Additional monster, we got 2 Gamma Seal, still 2 Gamma Seal. I wanted to still play Kaijus in the deck. I think it's really important to have these, especially going second. A lot of times you only need to break 1 problematic monster, set up a column, and then you can just start doing your thing. So that's why I chose to play 2 copies of Gamma Seal. Also, it's the weakest one, so it really works out well for the deck. And then, of course, in order to play the NEOS combo in the deck, you do have to play some bricks. So you do have to play Elemental Hero NEOS and Rainbow Dragon. So the thing with these cards is that even if you draw them, they're actually not total bricks. So worst case scenario, they're lights for Macabre, which is very important. And if you draw them, you can still resolve NEOS Fusion because the way it's worded, if you have either of these cards in your hand or in the deck, you can still use them for the NEOS Fusion. So it's extremely important, you know, to make sure that you still have them in deck. So 1 copy of each is all you need. I wouldn't play more than that. That's to set up the combo. And then for the hand traps, I get the hand traps very standard. I play triple Ash. It's the most generic hand trap. There's always something you can Ash in every game, so I feel it's the best. It's also really good against Rogue. It's just important to get, you know, to have the best hand traps, the most generic hand traps in my opinion. Along with that, can't forget the homie DD Crow. I think the homie DD Crow just keeps getting better and better every format. Eldritch is a hell of a deck. Invoke Eldritch is a hell of a deck, and Crow is amazing against that deck. Being able to Crow Golden Boy is nuts. Being able to Crow pretty much anything at any time is really important. A lot of times too, if you draw multiple copies, you can use them both because it's not once per turn. So Crow is just insane. Crow's been amazing for me, and I will continue to play it. I think it's one of the best hand traps this format, just like it was last format. And then for the last hand trap, I actually went with Impermanence. So I went back and forth with the Gamma package. I tried cards like Ogre, I tried Valor, I tried all these different cards. Valor was pretty good, but I liked Impermanence more, especially going second, because if you drew it as your 6th card, you could turn off a problematic card and play, which is very important. Also, if your opponent doesn't pay attention to columns, which is usually the case when playing against a deck like this, you can really capitalize on Impermanence's other effects. So that's why I chose to play these 9. I think these were the best hand traps. If you guys have been watching, again, the stream where I've been playing this deck like non-stop, I've literally just impermanenced everything, and it's been amazing. Like, they literally summon their like boss monster when they do their full combo, draw for turn, impermanence it, start playing, and it's insane. So impermanence is just a great card in my opinion. So yeah, that's it for the hand traps and the monsters. Spells, again, more standard stuff, but you guys shouldn't be surprised by this anymore. 3 copies of Meltdown, of course, along with 3 copies of Invocation. I still feel like you need to play 3 copies of Invocation. We're still playing Desires in this deck, and I will explain that. that even though we are doing the NEOS combo for the 2-card OTK, a lot of times if you don't see it, you just desires anyway, so it's important to do that. Also, you need to play 3 of this because you don't want to lose them off desires, and if your Alistair does get hand trapped or stopped, being able to hard draw this is super important, so that's why we play 3. That's all standard stuff you guys should be used to in the deck. We're still rocking 3 Lightning Storm. Again, I've said it many times in these decks, you need bomb cards in this deck, especially since you're going second. You need to be able to just blow your opponent out. Lightning Storm does that. Lightning Storm can bait and negate. Lightning Storm can wipe a back row. It can also break apart a board depending on how your opponent set it up. It destroys all attack position monsters. A lot of people forget that. They forget that it's a Raigeki in addition to a Harpy's Feather Duster. So I think it's really important that you still play this card, especially in decks like this that want to go second and just blow up the board. So I still feel this is absolutely necessary in this type of deck. Then, of course, 2 Desires. So people will say, okay, why on earth are you playing Desires if you're playing, you know, the NEOS package? If you banish any of them, you can't play it. And yes, that's true, but at the same time, Desires is just that good. If you remember when we were playing Brilliant Fusion and Garnet, we did the same thing. We still played Desires. We still, you know, risked it. And sure, we had Omega in those decks, but a lot of times it didn't matter. Like, Desires gives you that plus that you need, and it's just really good. So a lot of times people ask me, what do I do when I open NEOS Fusion, I open Desires? I'll always go NEOS Fusion, because if they don't hand trap it or whatnot, I get NEOS out going second. That card is just insane by itself. It's 4,500, which is huge. So I think it's really important to actually play cards like that that are just more dominant in these matchups. So that's why I would rather, you know, play the NEOS Fusion. And even if Pot of Desires does kind of conflict, I think it's still important to have in this deck. You need to get pluses on your opponent. You need to draw into the rest of your deck. So this is still really important even in this format, in my opinion. And then the 1-ofs, I've got, of course, the 1 Mind Control, rest in peace. I wish we were at more than 1, but it's such a broken card. This card is nuts. I sack this card a lot. I draw this card a lot, and this card can just win you games. It just breaks board by itself. And then Terraforming for the 4th copy of Meltdown. That's super important to have. You just need as many Meltdowns as possible because you need as many copies of Alistair as possible. So that's it for that. And then, of course, boom, the bread and butter of the deck, the NEOS Fusion. So this card is what you use to summon Rainbow NEOS. This card is insane. Basically, it's the legal version of Red Eyes Fusion and Dragoon of Red, in my opinion. That's kind of how I look at it. NEOS Fusion lets you send Rainbow Dragon and Elemental Hero NEOS from your deck or from your hand. It lets you summon your Rainbow NEOS. And this also has another effect a lot of people don't know. This card protects your NEOS, and people forget that. I had it happen on stream multiple times where, for some reason, NEOS couldn't close out the game. They try to destroy it. It has a built-in effect a lot of people don't know. If the card would be destroyed by battle or card effect or shuffled into the extra deck by its own effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. So basically, you just save your Rainbow NEOS with this. This card is broken. I thought about playing multiple copies maybe in the future, but for now, 1, 1, and 1 has been testing just fine. Like I said, while it's broken in this deck, I don't want to draw too many of those cards. I'd rather just play my deck the way it is and have this added engine, and this has been insane. So that's just the 1-up. And then the traps real quick. That's all the spells. Triple Evenly, of course, we're going second. Just break the board. This card is broken. This card has always been broken. It's going to continue to be broken. This card is nuts. And then the 1 copy of World Legacy Secret to go with the MEKK-KNIGHT Morningstar and the combos. Extra deck real quick, and then I'll show you guys that combo. So extra deck only changed a little bit. For the Invoke, 2 Macabre, 1 Purg, and 1 Kaliga. That's all you need. I took out Raijin. I took out Instant Fusion, if you guys noticed. I took out Thousand Eyes Restrict. They just weren't coming up enough. I wanted a more consistent deck, and I wanted blowout cards, and NEOS Fusion, in my opinion, is a blowout card along with Verde Anaconda. So these cards were all I needed. I didn't feel like I needed any more of the Invoked. Obviously, we're going to be testing Gearsu and stuff in the future, so that will change. One of the all-stars of the deck going second, Rainbow NEOS. Like I said, you make it with NEOS Fusion. This card's broken. You literally can send a monster on your field to the graveyard, shuffle back all your opponent's monsters on the field into their deck. You can do the same thing to their back row, and you can also shuffle back their graveyard by milling the top card of your deck. So this card is absolutely insane. I can't believe it took us this long to like figure this out with this deck, but this card is broken. It's also a light from Macabre at worst, so this card is amazing. And then just the rest of the standard stuff in the deck. The All Mirage and the Secure Gardener for the 1-card Macabre. You got the Cross Sheep. This card's still broken. Helps you link climb into Boral Sword to OTK your opponent. Obviously, the namesake of the deck. I always say these are the namesake of the deck, but MEKK-KNIGHT Invoked, obviously, so you got to play Mad Invoker and Morningstar. These cards are both great. Alistair gets so much value. People don't realize his name is Alistair while it's on the field or graveyard, so that comes up a lot. One of the MVPs, Verde Anaconda. This card is broken. This card is probably getting banned or limited. I don't even know what. This card should never have been printed. This card is insane. Can make an opponent's monster dark. Can send a fusion and activate. Like, it's ridiculous. This card is everything in this deck. So this card is nuts. Nightmares, I got Phoenix and Unicorn. Those are standard. BLS, one of my favorite cards. You guys have seen how clutch this card comes in on stream. This card just nuts. I love this card. I feel like you always need to play this card, especially against the back row and grindy decks, because once you get it out with its other effects, they have a really hard time outing it. And then Borrelsard uses OTK your opponent with it. Okay, so before we go, I'm just going to show you guys the combo real quick. Try to make the video very, very quick. So I'm going to show you guys like literally what you do. Go in second. Like, this is literally all you need. It's very standard. All you need is Alistair and a MEKK-KNIGHT. So all you do is, okay, so say your opponent set up the column, whatever, you know, summon your MEKK-KNIGHT, cool. We're not even gonna base anything off of you know, like, let's just say you open, I'm just gonna pull out some random cards. So say I open it evenly or like whatever, and you know, they set up a column, cool. Set your column, summon MEKK-KNIGHT, cool. Summon Alistair, effect, get your invocation, okay? You're good to go. You link these two. So what you do is you link first into your Verde Anaconda. So I'll put Verde Anaconda up here. With that, you go Invocation, banishing your Alistair and your MEKK-KNIGHT. That'll get out your Macabre. So there's your Macabre. Put it wherever. I mean, remember, it's Master Rule 5, so put it wherever. Use your Invocation effect, put it back in deck, get back Alistair. And then what you do is you go Verde Anaconda effect. Now this is why it's very important. By adding back the Macabre before you do this, you have the ability to counter a hand trap. So say your opponent hand traps the Anaconda, you can negate it with the monster in hand, which is the Alistair, in addition to any other monster you have with Macabre. So that's very important. Always remember that. So you do that. And what you do with Verde's effect is you pay the 2,000 life points, and with that you're going to send NEOS Fusion to the grave. So boom, you're going to send NEOS Fusion to the grave. It's going to activate. So you're going to send these two cards from either your hand or from the deck, you know, send them to the graveyard. NEOS Fusion will resolve. NEOS Fusion will summon your Rainbow NEOS. So this is important. This is graveyard. This is here. Okay, so that's your board right now. Literally, you use Rainbow NEOS's effect, spin this away, spin back all your opponent's monsters. Now, this is against like a monster board if you've broken through stuff, if your opponent just has a monster board. And then you go to battle phase. This is 45. This is 25. Then with the 1,000 boost, if you didn't use it, it goes to 35. And that is exactly 8,000. So that's it, you guys. That's the deck profile. I love this deck. I love this addition to it. I think it's insane. If you guys liked it too, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think. I think NEOS Fusion is amazing in this deck, and I'm going to continue playing it as long as I can. We're going to keep playing MEKK-KNIGHT Invoked because it's one of my favorite decks of all time, and no matter what, in every format, we're still going to play it. But let me know what you guys think. Smash that like button if you enjoyed it. Let me know any suggestions for future profiles. We're going to keep profiling this deck as long as we can. All I can say is I think cards like this were a mistake, but hey, it is what it is, so we're going to keep playing it. But that's all I got to say, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.